I got 2 brothers and 3 sisters, a bunch of nieces and nephews. I have 2 kids, 2 daughters. 19, 11.
Dang, she 19?
Yeah.
Golly, baby girl done got grown.
She is grown.
She in school, she going to college
She's
now?
going to EMT school.
Good for her.
And working, doing her thing. You know I'm old, bro. I'm about to be 38 next month.
Damn.
What's up?
I cut with the combo. The better the people, the better the combo.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of family around this area, a lot of family, a lot of good people. People that's not family, but I consider family because they go above and beyond.
Word up.
You know? But I've been in Tampa since 2003. I left for a brief minute, moved back to Fort Myers and moved to Tallahassee for a minute, came back. And that's actually where I met Kenny at in 2010.
Wally World.
All day.
We was at Walmart.
And doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Worked overnight, and we needed stuff to do to keep us busy. So we came up with some crazy games.
Mm-hmm. Anybody that works stock at Walmart knows that that's like one of the most boringest jobs there is out there. And in order to make the night go by, whoever they put you on the aisle with, you better be friends with them, because
the night's gonna be long.
Your night's gonna be very, very long. So
yeah, we came up with a lot of crazy games and things like that. But we've literally, since we met, man, we have not stopped talking, not been friends. We became family. I'm cool with his mom, dad, sisters, brothers, same other way around.
And you work on cars, man. He's a master mechanic.
So I work on cars, Kenny cut hair. So he was like, yeah, you can fix this? And I'm like, yeah, sure, bring it to the house. And we worked out a deal. And this is back then when he had a car that needed to be worked on. Now he got a little money, now I got a little car off the lot that I ain't had to put my hands on yet.
Got a little drip for sale.
Yeah. So I haven't had to work on it yet, but yeah, that's what it is. What it is.
That's what's up. So when did you first start working on cars?
So my dad worked on cars, but not necessarily worked on cars. He did like the basic stuff. And watching my dad growing up work on basic stuff. Then
you would work on projects with him?
Yeah, like he'll buy, like when we stayed in Kansas, he'll buy like a snow blower or whatever, and we had to put it together. So I'd be out there with him putting it together. My grandmother, but my aunt, my mom would tell me that I like to work on things, and if they had something that didn't work, they would give it to me. I'm like, okay, take it apart. So I would like try to take it apart with no tools, just doing whatever. So all my life I've been tinkering with things, and then in Savannah I had a neighbor that had like an old Cadillac lowrider with hydraulics and stuff on it, and he'll be out there working on it every weekend, and I'll be under the car with him.
That's what's up. So that combination kind of helped you get into
it more. And then my dad bought my first car when I was 15.
Oh shit, what was it?
A Cadillac, a 1976 Fleetwood, 4-door. Same car my neighbor had.
He had a diamond in the back?
No, I had no diamond.
Sunroof top?
No sunroof
Digging the scene with the gangster lane, whoop, whoop.
But
why you gotta do me like that, Jerome?
I mean, it's an old Cadillac, bro, and I would drive the mess out of it. And I couldn't drive it, I didn't have a license, but I drove it anyway. Hooked me some music up in there, and I got plenty of tickets in that car, man, with no license.
Damn.
So, yeah, man, working on my own car, you know, getting deeper and deeper into the mechanic game. My grandfather went out and bought me some tools, and was downhill since then. Went to aviation school to work on airplanes,
What's your favorite car to work on?
I don't really have a favorite car to work on, but I love old school cars. I love old school, have a real passion for old school cars.
What do you like about old school cars as opposed to some of these new school cars when it comes down to you working on them and stuff?
Well, the old school cars are easier to manipulate.
Okay.
Than the newer cars. Newer cars, you need like computers and things of that nature. The old cars, you need like a screwdriver and a hammer.
Gotcha. Well, Jerome, tell us what the people need to do, what the audience people need to do.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Cool. Jay, you got anything you want to say?
What you think about Tom Brady retiring?
For me?
Yeah.
I think he's not retired all the way, bro. Tom Brady is not retired all the way, like literally.
Oh, I think he's gonna come back one more season.
Back. I don't know if he's coming back here now. I will say that I think he's coming back, but I don't know if he's coming back here.
He come back one more season.
But for what team you think?
For the Bucks.
Nah, he ain't coming here. Cause I mean, I think he might. It's a possibility, but I think that he also got to have a serious roster. And I don't think by the time he get ready to come back, I think a lot of them players gonna be gone, bro. Like I think Mike Evans ain't got much longer.
That's some news he's got some good.
Man, okay, let's be. If y'all want to keep it 100, you know I'm gonna speak my mind. So this is a question I really want. I asked one of my clients the other day, and we was talking about it. But I felt really bad when Mike, what's the guy named Brian Flores, the coach from Miami. Mm-hmm. So you know he just got a job, right?
No.
Yeah, well, he just got a job coaching with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, the only other black coach that's in the league. So I felt some kind of way, man. I don't know how y'all feel about it. If y'all know the whole backdrop behind the situation. So
I heard the story.
You heard the story, you know, about Bill Belichick sending the wrong text out and all that. So
yeah, congratulations for getting the job.
Right. So my thing was, I was really kind of upset because I was just like, man, this dude right here, literally, he got a job, but he's still only one black head coach in the league, bro. And everybody's talking about, oh, well, he got a job. I had one client, you know, I love him. He texted me, he was like, man, that's a big move. And I was just like, not really so much for me, because I'm like, really, he got an assistant job when he had a head coaching job.
Didn't the Steelers already have the black head coach?
Yeah, that's Mike Tomlin. He's the only black head coach in the league.
But Houston hired a black head coach.
They hired an assistant, I believe.
No, they just hired Lovie Smith.
He's the head coach?
Yeah. I think it's Houston.
I thought Lovie got an assistant job.
Lovie got a head coaching job.
Okay, well, I stand to be correct.
Also up for that position for that team.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like, you got a lawsuit against the NFL, don't expect to have a job. You know what I'm saying? I get that whole aspect of it. But at the same time, I'm also kind of like, man, really, it's kind of like a shoot, like a shot in the foot, man. You just shot yourself in the foot because, like, now you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's not really for him. It's for the next person so the next person won't have to go through that.
But I still feel like this, though. You taking that position is not the way that it's not us moving forward. To me, he should have got a head coaching job, or this. I feel like Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, he should have made up a position where Brian Flores, you're going to be working in the organization as a head of whatever position you want to call it, and just make him like go around to all the other teams in the NFL and make sure that nothing like that ever happens to another coach ever again. I could get that. I could be down with that. But giving the man an assistant job? No, bro. And he's a good coach. On top of that, a lot of the players like his ass. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, you got to cut that man some type of slack. Like, that was just wrong. It's wrong on so many levels how he was done. And then it's just like the NFL just like, oh, well, we're just going to keep moving. You know, we're going to keep going. I'm just like, I ain't really feeling that. To me, that put a sour taste in my mouth as a spectator and as a, you know, an avid watcher of the NFL. So
if the NFL was to create that position and offer it to him and he was to accept, or even if he didn't accept, it would kind of look like an admission of guilt.
You said if he didn't accept the position?
Regardless,
No, if they offered him that.
if they created a position and offered that to him right now,
It's better than an assistant job, though. You're an assistant.
for him, and for what he's trying to do, but for the NFL, when they have a lawsuit against them, they're gonna look like they're guilty. You see what I'm saying?
But you already are guilty. Like, the guilt is already out
They
there.
don't want to admit it though.
No, they don't want to admit it. So, I mean, get a man a head coaching job. I don't care if you put him at the Vikings or one of the worst teams in the league. That's the thing, though. But that's the thing, though. Like, if you pay attention to a lot of black coaches that get jobs, they don't get jobs at the big name teams or the teams that have good players. You gonna send me to the bottom of the barrel and try and bring these boys all the way up to nothing? Like, come on, man. I'm gonna be fired within 2 years.
But that's the point. That is the exact point, right? That's the whole reason why you know how many.
Not gonna make it, bro.
With the room rule, there was an issue with it. They would interview the same black coaches just to be like, oh, we interviewed, and then they wouldn't hire them because it's like, well, all these other teams didn't hire them for some reason, so we're not gonna hire them.
They say Tony Dungy was in the league for 15 years before he got his first head coaching job. 15 years. He said 9 of those seasons, he was in the playoffs. 9 times in the playoffs. Yep. You got your boy from Kansas City, the assistant they got over there under Andy Reid. Yeah. He's another great one. He's been over there. Huh?
Is it the editor?
I don't know his name right off bat, but they know who I'm talking about if you follow football like that. And like, he didn't get a job. He just won a championship a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, he probably is a lot of he needs a lot of the praise for that offense over there, the way they look. Don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes doing his thing, but I'm pretty sure he's working right in hand with this man. Right. Get this man a job, man. That's all I'm saying. Give him a job. That's all I'm saying. Give him a job.
Sure, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, you play football, Jerome. How you feel?
Feel the same way. Get him in a job. Let him shine. All we need is like a fair shot as like everybody else has.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Me personally, like, that's what I feel like.
So you got, I kind of like where you guys are going with this conversation because you got a lot of people who, let's be honest, white people, right? People are like, oh, you guys have affirmative action, all this type of stuff, right? So they feel like the tables are kind of turning against them in a sense, to be unfair against them. But obviously, in situations like this where they're just using that as a way to take advantage of the system still, right?
Right.
So what do you feel like can be done? Is there anything that you feel like can be done, or is it just like one of those things where
I feel like more transparency will help the situation. Instead of them trying to cover up stuff, be more transparent with what they're doing in the process. Okay, this is our hiring process. This is the people that we interviewed. You know what I'm saying? This is why we're not hiring this guy, why we're not, you know what I'm saying? Instead of covering it up, just be more transparent so everybody knows like exactly why or why not.
So like, explain like what would be done throughout the whole transaction, like transparency. Like what would take place throughout this whole process?
So every team just has like the whole hiring process on Front Street. You know, you see, okay, I'm interviewing these 4 head coaches, these are their credentials, and you know, why we're going with this guy, or you know what I'm saying, offer his credentials or whatever the case may be. Instead of, okay, we're wondering, oh, we went with this guy, so we're wondering why when, you know, this other guy is clearly a better coach. So it takes out the guesswork for us, spectators.
But I think what get me though, man, is that McCown, the quarterback, they were about to give him a job. And I know a lot of people that watch football, they know what I'm talking about. Josh McCown, yeah. And he was I think he was like a quarterback coach, or he coached in high school or something like that.
He was like a journeyman quarterback. He started from, I want to say like a handful of years.
Yeah, like,
Less than 5 years.
my thing is, man, like if he can get a job quicker than some of these other black coaches out here that's been out here struggling. I mean, Hugh Brown is at Grambling now. He was with the Browns. And I mean, he shared his story. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a slew of other black coaches that got the same type of stories, and it's not affirmative action ain't even like nothing to even talk about. It's not working in this situation. Like we ain't getting nothing out of this situation out about somebody hollering affirmative action. Like that ain't even working. Mm-hmm. So it's like now we need more representation. That's just clearly what it is. Like we need more representation of us. You see, the NBA is kind of getting there. They're getting the picture, the big picture. You got a lot of good players that played in the league that should be coaching. They want to coach. And then they end up going to these, they go to these, like you got Penny Hardaway, he's at Memphis. You got other couple coaches, you got Juwan Howard slapping people down in Michigan and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, though, these brothers got jobs and they carry a lot of clout because they got their name on board with them. So it's like when you bring in a player / coach, somebody that played in the league, got the experience, these players, these young kids that's coming into the league, they gonna want to play for somebody that they saw actually playing the game or that knows the game. You know what I'm saying? And they can relate to. So my thing is we just need more representation of us all across the board. I mean, that goes without saying. 70%? No, we were like, I think, what's the percentage of in the NBA? I think it's like 70 or 80%. It's like 86% or something like that.
Is that high?
Bro, it's 86% of us in the NBA, and it's like 70%, isn't it like 70% in the NFL or something like that?
Yes.
It's like 70-something% or whatever in the NFL.
So, to that point, we get so I know I've had personal debates on Facebook with people.
Right.
Talking about like racism doesn't exist anymore. Of course, it's usually white people, but I hear from other Hispanic, black people who might comment, I've never had anything racist happen to me, so therefore it doesn't exist. Right.
Yeah, that's the sad part about it.
Obviously, not the case, right? What kind of response would you guys have to something like that?
Well, I mean, for that person that says they never had racism or had to deal with it, good. That's good for you. You know what I'm saying?
It's awesome.
Great for you.
Keep living.
My story is a little different. I've been pulled over and pulled out my car and threatened to get taken to jail if I don't let them search my car for no reason. For me not wearing a seatbelt. Like I've had plenty of times, bro. It's crazy. It's a lot to go over, but I experienced racism a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to chime in, I've experienced it in my profession. I had a situation when I first moved here to Tampa. It didn't slow me down. It didn't stop me. I was in a barbershop and I got accused of something I didn't do. Long story short, I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but police came up and I had a similar experience of you being basically pulled out of your car because like the police officer didn't believe my word, and I'm literally at work and like I'm being accused of something that I didn't do at work, but he wanted to see the cameras and whatnot. And luckily I had a good group of people that I worked with that were like, no, he wasn't doing this, we can vouch for him, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, I mean, for anybody that says it doesn't exist, I just think of it like this. For people that have money and live different lifestyles and don't really deal with this type of situation, if you have them actually speaking up for people that they know that have gone through racism, that says everything to me. Because it's like, in the end, it's just like, you got people that probably ain't experiencing it, but they know people that have experienced it. So you can't go out here and say that, okay, well, you can't put some type of change into action, you know what I'm saying? Or even like stand up for what's right, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's just because you don't see it or you haven't experienced it, don't mean that somebody that's close to you, one of your friends and whatnot, has experienced it. So that's my whole take on it. You can't just go off your own experiences in life.
Living life through the chapters, winning a ring in a different border like I'm the Toronto Raptors. Opportunity meets preparation. Judge a book by its cover and stumble through all the trepidations. Sorry, I skipped ahead of my story. It's historic in proportion compared to my glory. I ain't got it now, but one day it is destined. All this work will be worth it as I'm professing my profession. Beating off progression, I don't need discretion as I usher in a new way, but no, these ain't my confessions. Living life by the hashtag blessings. As we move through the chapter, then what you find is weapon. I laugh a lot so they don't know I pay attention. Let them underestimate my level of comprehension. If we got a problem, don't wait for my epilogue. Cutting with a convo before I go get my pen involved.